Today I'm making a soy sauce substitute for everyone who's avoiding soy or has an allergy to it. I generally refer to it as soyless sauce because that's just faster to say than soy sauce substitute. And I'm starting with 3 cups of chicken stock. And I want to make a note here that if you're avoiding soy because of allergy reasons, or you're cooking for someone who has a soy allergy, you need to be very careful with your chicken stock because most chicken that you buy in the grocery store has soy broth injected into it as its liquid. So you need to either get an organic chicken or a chicken that specifically is soy-free to make your broth out of if you really need to be careful about your soy. So I have here 3 cups of chicken broth, which I made from the bones from a Costco rotisserie chicken, which is very allergy friendly. And to this I am adding 3 tablespoons of apple cider vinegar and a tablespoon of molasses. And of course I got my molasses from Azure Standard. It's a great place to get bulk deals on a lot of healthy foods, especially ones that are expensive or hard to find at the grocery store. About a tablespoon of molasses. That's kind of a heaping tablespoon because molasses is so thick. And I'm actually just going to stir this in here so it comes off the spoon in a reasonable amount of time. Now, as far as storing this soy sauce, the original recipe that this comes from does not suggest storing it in the fridge for long periods of time. But I don't really see any point in having a condiment that you have to make up every time you need it. I want condiments that I can pull out of my fridge when I need them. So I have made this soy sauce and stored it for weeks, at least 3 weeks at a time in my fridge, and it's been just fine. You'll want to test it when you pull it out and make sure it's still good, doesn't smell weird, isn't growing anything, but in my experience it seems to store just fine. Now we're going to add just a couple of shakes of black pepper. That's kind of to taste. That may have been a little more than I wanted to put in there. And a 1/4 teaspoon of garlic powder, because everything is better with garlic powder in it. Possibly even garlic, but I have to think about that one. And then I'm going to wash the garlic off my spoon before I dip it in the ginger. And then a 1/4 teaspoon of dried powdered ginger, ground ginger, however you refer to that. And then I will be adding salt to this, but before I do that, I'm going to let this boil down a little bit. Officially, you should let it boil down to about 2 cups, but it depends on how much of a hurry you're in. You can actually just use it without boiling it down at all. You can even just mix the ingredients cold if you want. And then you'll just need to use a little bit more of the sauce probably because the flavor is not as concentrated and it won't have that thicker sauce consistency that soy sauce does. It'll be more like just water that's flavored. Alright, this has been simmering, or vigorously simmering, or technically boiling for 15 minutes now. And it's not noticeably thickened. It's still going to stay very thin, like soy sauce. But you'll notice it has a little more body to it, and I can actually see the line where the liquid has evaporated from to be reduced down to a smaller amount of liquid. And now I'm going to add the salt, and I don't normally measure the salt, so I'm going to have to add it about 1/2 teaspoon at a time and let you know how much total needs to go in. Alright, I'm using my pink Himalayan sea salt, and I've actually added about a tablespoon of salt to this soyless sauce because I want my sauce to actually be salty like a regular soy sauce. Now if you want, you can definitely cut back on the salt to 1 or 2 teaspoons and it'll still have plenty of flavor. But anyone with adrenal problems or thyroid problems or metabolism problems really should be trying to get more healthy salt into their diet anyway, because salt will help a lot with those problems. So I highly recommend the full tablespoon version of the soyless sauce. And this is just really handy to have for all kinds of Chinese recipes, which we really enjoy, and adds that really good background flavor without adding more soy into your diet, which is always a good thing.